He must be really into Halloween, because his browser history is full of the phrase, candy loving. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. No choice to get on. Mandate, get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Am I right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Ball Brian.
Some of these Asians, they're getting in my head.
Mike Cannon, comedian, actor, is in studio. He's got a lot going on. We'll talk to him about that. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Candy Loving is a reference to Playmate of the Year, Candy Loving, for all you young kids out there. And I don't know. Look, people can do that. Okay, old timer. You know, everything in the past was better. But there were certain things that were better in certain eras. Architecture, look no further than what comes out of Detroit, automobiles. So you pull up a picture of Candy Loving from 1978 or
stunner.
Whatever.
Yeah.
She was just a fucking stoned fox and no thoughts about, are those implants, or she have some work done, or she get some collagen injections in her lips. She just fucking looked that way. And that's what Playboy used to be. And then they got weird tattoo, fake titty chicks, and it all went downhill from there. But yeah, Candy was a smoke show. All right, so much to get into.
Only 15 more minutes on Candy Loving.
First, woo, God, was she hot. First, I was watching a commercial on TV today, and my thing with a lot of commercials is the same with a lot of trailers for comedy movies, which is like they don't do the setup, they just do the punchline, and they move so fast, and you're going, wait, what is it? What was that joke? And the danger always is, because I've been in the edit bay, you know the setup, you've seen it, you've read, sometimes in this one they hold up a book real fast and they put it back down. I couldn't read the title of the book, but if you're editing it and producing it, you know the title, you came up with the title, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing is unfunny. It stars, oh God, Kanye West.
Julia Fox.
Remember he had that girlfriend for like 20 minutes? It was kind of goth.
Yeah.
They gave her.
She was an Uncut Gems.
They gave her an Uber Eats commercial. I stopped it and rewound it. Rewound it again, and then got up like a retarded child and stood next to the TV, like with my mouth hanging open, like, I can't understand what they're saying.
Okay.
So she's doing a bit.
Oh, I bet it's hilarious.
Which they know the punchlines in the bit, but I'll play the bit, and you guys just tell me if you can understand what this is. Now, it's a 30-second or 15-second TV commercial, which, by the way, it has to be readable to most folks. You know, here it is. I'll play. Tell me what it sounds like. You have headphones on.
Wait.
If you're just in a room and this is coming from the TV set, I was like, she joined for what, Hom?
Did she intentionally mispronounce all those words?
I think she's trying to be... Okay, so for some of you who might not remember the meme, that was her eyeshadow that she made, that dumb, big, giant eyeshadow. And someone said, like, who did your makeup? And she's like, actually, I did it myself. And, like, that's how she talks when she's on her carpet.
Boner.
Thank you. So I think she's, I want to say, making fun of herself.
All right, but...
Oh, boy.
That's A to D.
Poll.
This was on, like, AM Fox and Friends.
That is
there
inappropriate.
a chance that any human being at 8:30 in the morning would know what the fuck any of the words that came out of her mouth were?
No.
I didn't know what any of that was.
This should be only nose and ear irrigation commercials.
And Chris has a, food thesaurus, so he was explaining to me what yams, a hop, a mix. He's going, that means. But to me...
Yams means yams?
Yeah.
I have hams. I don't know. We'll watch it again. Start it. First off, I had to stop it 9 times just to read the title of the book.
Well, and what does that have to do with anything? It says masterpiece.
Untossed gems.
And that's the Uncut Gems movie she was in.
You can't stop it from the freeze. You gotta, or maybe you can.
Food thing?
I don't know what that means.
I think that's yams.
No, it was at the end.
It was like gem lettuce.
Yeah, little gem
We
salad.
shouldn't be working this hard.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm standing in a puddle of my own drool 9 inches from my flat plasma TV at 8:30 in the morning in my underpants, you've not accomplished your mission, whoever was put up to this.
Right.
I know nothing.
This feels like a TikTok, though. It feels like it's coming in at the punchline, and you just are confused to the point that you just focus on it.
Right.
I'm confused and angered at this point, but I'll try it one more time.
Yeah, it's a takeoff on something she said on a red carpet interview. You have to know who she is. You have to know which red carpet interview they're talking about, and that accent is very like the Euphoria accent.
And
of all
once
the children.
again, this coming through the headphones you're wearing.
Yeah, it's helpful.
An acoustically sound environment.
Very helpful.
I got tile. And no
sound
paintings.
bounces, baby.
No tapestries on the wall to absorb the sound. It's just flat paint on a wall and a tile floor, and I had to, and it's just echoing through this high ceiling room, and I have no chance. I have no idea what's going on.
I still don't know what the last thing she said is.
Should they? Would you guys be with me? The problem is whoever wrote it knows it. She knows it. The director knows it. The editor. Everyone's seen it. Everyone knows it. Like, yeah, she's saying ham. She's not saying. You must take these things and run it through a focus group of Americans and go, does anyone here know what the fuck she's talking about? Or were you confused? Or what did you think she said? You must get some outside eyeballs on this thing. Earballs, I should say.
Well, and it's got the soundtrack, too, from the movie, right? So it's supposed to, the Uncut Gems is like an anxiety-inducing soundtrack behind it.
See, I was at a loss where
I've seen it once.
I was like...
I love that bit. I remember that.
I was essentially like, Yee's girlfriend had a stroke. That's all I got. I didn't get the other references. Any other references. That's all. That's all I got.
I like he pronounced Yee like he's medieval times. Kanye.
Yee's girlfriend.
Ye old anti-Semitic rapper.
Should be smoten and struck down with a stroke. Yeah, now she's running for Senate. All right, so I couldn't figure it out. I watched it 7 times.
So there's an old video that went viral where Julia Fox was talking about Uncut Gems. She said Uncut Jams, and so that was so popular.
We're all supposed to know.
Yeah, we're all supposed to know that.
Man, they really struck while the iron's hot coming out with that 10 months later.
This is Fox and Friends at 8:37 in the morning.
That's traffic's fault. Traffic, in the newsroom, traffic does all the commercial spots.
Yeah.
They should have known better than to accept this.
This isn't us. This is, would our dads get any of this? And if the answer is no, then recalibrate.
Is this a Life Alert commercial? Is she having a stroke?
Where's that bathtub with the door on it? All right, so there was that. The other thing that I ran into yesterday when I was driving back from here to Malibu, and the teeth of the traffic, the LA traffic going from Glendale to Malibu. I left here at about 4:45, so about the worst time to do it. But as I was driving, I noticed at some point on the 405, the other side of the freeway was completely, everything was just completely closed. This is now 5:20, and it's completely stopped. And I filmed it. I filmed it as I turned onto the 10, just because you can run it there, Chris. It's the police have stopped the 10.
They did the zigzag?
Yeah, they do the zigzag and then the stop, and then they stopped it, and I'm driving along the 10 heading toward PCH, or the PCH, as many people say. I don't say it, but many people from the Michigan area who've been here for 10 minutes tend to want to correct the guy's been born here and is 20 years older. But okay.
Past my house.
Past your house. It is wall-to-wall traffic on the 10, 100% stopped, and it just keeps going for miles. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But they stopped the 405 as well. All right, Biden's in town.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Okay, I get it. There's the
how did I
motorcade.
miss that?
I get it, but you have an itinerary. We're going to LA. LA has the worst traffic on the planet. I think we're going to touch down about 5.
On a weekday.
We're going to touch down he touched down at like 4.
Oh my God, it's still going.
4:46. We'll get into the motorcade and whatever. Could we just touch down at 2 in the you're Air Force One. You leave whenever you want. You know, why 5? It is 5:30 in the afternoon when they did this. Is everyone just trying to get the fuck home? Why now?
That's excruciating.
Just do it do it at 8 at night or 10 in the morning or like whatever.
If I were stuck in that, I would say, I don't give a shit what Biden says from now on. I know he doesn't care about me.
You're going to Los Angeles, and the plan. I mean, look. I don't blame Biden, but somebody's got to raise their hand and go.
Yeah.
You have a lot of pissed off people. Like the 405 was closed too. Like fuck.
Would he have done that in a swing state? Do you think?
That's a good
I like
point.
how he just completely inconveniences a lock state.
It's locked.
Take
Yeah.
that,
The ones you
Ohio.
love.
It did make me think of this. It's not really an app, but I do think it could be. In a world where cars have heaters in the seats and coolers in the seats and heated steering wheels as well, depending on how far up the food chain you want to go, and rain sensing wipers and stuff like that. It's all very good and well, but when you're sitting in traffic, you're still depressed and miserable. As I was heading over the 405 and noticed them stopping the 405 completely, I was like, I feel much better about my position in life, even though
Schadenfreude.
it had gotten none better.
Yeah.
It was just better.
That's right.
And as I was turned onto the 10 and everyone was, it was a parking lot for 5 miles, I was just going 67 miles an hour toward my home. And I was like, I've never felt better about myself. And I thought, couldn't we have an option in a car that just put the traffic up on the window, the driver's side window? So every time you looked out, you went, I may be fucked. I may be in a loveless relationship, but at least I'm not that.
Not those
and
poor
it would
saps.
always just be that you could use my footage of just stopped going.
Mental health software update.
Because we've all felt better when we went, fucking glad I'm not heading the other direction on that shit, right?
I think that app would have to go under the umbrella of petty pics, because it's pretty fucking petty.
But where it would really come into use is not so much for me, but for the people on the other side who are sitting stopped. Because
they wanna see.
What exacerbates
Yeah.
you when you're stopped is when
Yes.
they're flying the other
Right.
direction, right?
Every car that flies by you at 70 miles an hour just enrages you that much
Right.
more.
It's like when everybody does poorly on a comedy show and you at least feel like you're a part of the group. Then
Yeah.
your friend
Yes.
follows
Must
you
have been
and
the crowd.
crushes.
Right.
Like, this piece
Mike
of
has
shit.
dates coming up in Las Vegas.
Well, speaking of doing poorly, a very interesting concept for your latest stand-up special, right? Mike Cannon's Huge Mistake.
I thought you were going to read my calendar. Speaking of doing poorly.
She's going to be at Skankfest Vegas, Uncle Vinny's and Comedy Club in New Jersey. We'll get to that. But the premise of your stand-up special, give it to us.
So I had released an hour of material in May, which was pretty, very focused and all material. And I took, a lot of care into it. And then I just wanted to throw caution to the wind, have a fun thing. So I took a bunch of edibles and I did a crowd work special on 420 at New York Comedy Club. And I thought, at worst, it's going to be like a 10-minute fail video of me curled up on the stage crying and probably weeping about past trauma. But instead, it turned out as, pretty fun wave. Everybody came out for the exact same reason. They were all high as well.
Nice.
And I've done some pot shows that have been brutal. They've been like heroined out on a sofa. But this one in particular, they were sitting upright and it was pretty fun.
How do you handle the edibles? Did you take more than normal?
So I took 150 milligrams, which some people I've been, routinely called a pussy online for that because some people just like to hallucinate, on a daily basis. I'm a normal 100 milligram guy. I took a little bit more than typical because I wanted to still be somewhat coherent on stage, but also feel on the edge. So it ended up working out, but people are like, dude, I take 500 to pick up my daughter from school. You're a pussy.
Well, you should be arrested.
I do like that. I'm a bigger drug addict than you. Argument. Yeah. The other thing, I don't know how I got here or there, but I rarely ever get sucked into the internet. I'm very good at that. A lot of people, it's not that I'm good at it. I'm so bad at it that I'm such a retard technically that I can't get sucked into it. But she's good. It's it's like, the guy who gets in the crash who's really blackout drunk. He always walks away. That's
He's so calm.
That's my internet. That's my relationship with the internet. I'm so fucked up. It can't poison me. I got sucked in last night to the vids. Not a TikTok, it was a YouTube thing.
Okay.
And I don't know how the internet works, but here's how I use it, and here's what got me going down this road. You can find, I don't know. Let's enjoy the video of the Righteous Brothers Unchained Melody.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
1965. Bobby Hatfield, who's the singer of it. First off, I love to see a guy at the height of his powers. You know what I mean? Looks, youth, voice, ability.
And you're seeing this live, right?
Yes,
I've seen this.
He died later, cocaine related, 2003, hotel, doing some old-timey show or whatever.
That sweat suit.
So,
Didn't break a sweat.
Blue-eyed soul.
That's from the Andy Williams show.
There you go.
All right, so how do I get on to this?
Don't know.
I have a
Something car related?
yeah,
Tires.
I got a track computer.
Yes.
There's a thing called a Solo 2,
Okay.
and it's a track computer, and you charge it up and you put it in your race car, and it'll tell you like lap times and projected lap times, and you were 3/10 slower this lap, and lap 8 was your fastest lap. So I got this thing because I'm going to a car race after this, and I couldn't figure out how to fucking charge it. It was really weird how to charge it. So I go online and I type in Solo 2 charging directions or whatever.
Fair.
And underneath, as I'm like skimming down looking for there's always some guy with a German accent who's doing the unboxing for nerds, And at some point underneath it says, black people reacting to the Righteous Brothers. And I'm like...
Wait a minute. I'm so glad you found this because I have been obsessed for the last 6 months with black people reacting to white music.
Yes,
it's a
I'm
whole
obsessed.
subgenre on YouTube.
That is true.
Don't go there unless you got the time.
Two guys love
you
dollars.
cannot be one and done.
Yeah.
You gotta commit an evening.
Yes, and it's 3 black women crying.
Yes.
Like going,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know who I've
Gina,
never
they're
heard of.
swooning.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so glad you found. This is what we're doing in San Diego. This will be on the TV all weekend.
You cannot stop watching.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
I've only seen the 2 young guys react to Jolene, and they loved it, but
Buddy.
I didn't know there was a genre.
I'm gonna bring some in here
buddy.
and blow your goddamn mind.
Oh,
when
my
they
God.
react to Bobby Caldwell, "What You Do for Love," is it Bobby Caldwell or I think it's Bobby Caldwell, "What You Do for Love"? They're shocked he's white.
Oh
They
they're-
fall out of their chairs.
They have no idea that white people can sing, which I would call racist in
Yeah.
its own way. They now these are 22-year-old black people. They have no idea that there's soul in the sort of white world.
Sure.
Then
the happiest day of my life. I watch these all the time.
It was a 3-hour odyssey of me just drinking in a bathrobe, staring at the next black person.
I've done that with Magic, never with white music.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think Magic was one of the guys watching.
Was the one you watched a compilation of women?
Yes.
There's a great compilation of black people watching Ram Jam by Black Betty. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Stupid.
Oh my God! You will not. All right, we'll play a little of it.
This was so interesting. Like, I love this. I enjoyed every bit of the performance. Righteous Brothers, you guys are so good. I wish I was in your days. Like, I wish I was
All right,
there
so
live.
you don't need it. But the point is they got like 22-year-old rappers who didn't know white people
Sang.
You have scratched the surface.
And
Barely.
Then you really want to take a dive because as you scroll, once they realize what you're into, now you're hooked. Then I went into black people watching
Cobra.
No. Watching
Like Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, there's some of that. I didn't get sucked into the George Carlin special with black people, but I did get sucked. I got Neil Peart drumming with a black drummer going. I didn't know white people drummed either. You know what I mean? Like his mind is blown that there's a white guy, a Canadian with rhythm. It is racist. It is. But later on,
Gentle racism.
It's older black guys, slightly older black guys, watching Elvis sing in the ghetto.
Oh, boy.
And tears pouring down. They're like, yes, this is it. Yes, that's 50 years old. My God, everything is true. It's true. The white guys, it's true. It's my dad.
His mama
comes from
cried.
there. It's
Adam,
like they're all a mess.
Can you record yourself watching this, and then we can start a series of Adam Carolla watching black
Reacts to
people
the reaction.
I already have an idea. We're going to flip the script on the black people. We're going to give it a little twist.
Okay.
I'm going to get some of my snarkiest white comedian friends, and we're going to watch a Kevin Hart special and not laugh at all.
So you're just gonna watch it?
Not funny. Still have no idea why this guy made $39 million last year. It's fucking shit's not funny. You can get in on that. I mean, I'll
volunteer.
I got to go
Hell
to
yeah.
Joel McHale first, you understand? But
I have no power in this business, but I'll stand up to Kevin
it's going
Hart.
to be
Why
a
not?
hard pass by a lot of the more recognizable
Sure.
names.
I think Jeff Ross might be in.
He's still got some of a career left.
No,
I don't
he's
know.
kind of a edgy guy, but
We'll see.
I'm
Yeah.
bringing Chris. Block out 3 or 4 segments next week. We're gonna do this.
I'm so delighted because first off,
You and I are on lockstep on this.
I cannot. You cannot blame. First off, I don't know why it feels so intrinsically good to see like young black, people appreciating the old whiteys, but it's crazy how weirdly satisfying it is, and you just move on to the next thing. Now, I was trying to get instructions for my solo
that ever
track 2 charging cord, which I ended up figuring out on my own because the fucking German guy never plugged the cord in. He just kept telling me, because I guess they do. He didn't want to insult people.
Sure.
Like when the guy from Nerd Patrol to ask you if the VCR is plugged in when you're
Right.
telling them it's not working. It's condescending, but I figured it out on my own and then took a deep dive. I don't know how I get from, I'm guessing solo performance,
maybe.
solo
interesting.
2 charge instructions,
To soul performance.
Yeah.
It didn't take too many scrolls to get to black people.
Is anything about this
who
considered?
never owned a Solo 2, by the way. No one in those videos has ever owned one of these devices.
That's a good point. Is anything about that device considered unchained? Did that come in at any point?
It's a bit of a stretch.
I don't know, Chris. If you type in Solo,
Well, a lot of the
2
recommended videos too
instructions-
also incorporate some of your old YouTube history as well.
This is
Gay
not
porn.
is
But I'd heard of the black reaction videos, but I've never seen the black. Oh, you know what it is? Solo 2, Neil Peart was the first one that popped
drum
up.
solo.
Drum solo.
There it is.
Yeah, so his drum solo and a black drummer being blown away by it.
You
is
know
what
who
got
has a
me.
deep catalog of great music that black people react to? Spot Skaggs. Because it's kind of funky and it's kind of soulful, you know what I mean? Like those are fun to dive down.
The first reaction video of any kind I ever saw, which is still the perennial all-star, can't be beat, is the Roots react to 2 Girls, 1 Cup. That was the first one I've ever seen. It is the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's a real thing?
It's art.
Wow.
Seeing Questlove's eyes almost get set on fire is the best. We got to find that.
No.
You don't see the video. You just see them watching the video. It's old school.
That's enough. I can see the reflection in their eyes. Especially those people.
Oh, boy. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no.
There
Now,
it is.
nobody knows what this is. Think this is a decade ago. They're all
More
piled
than a
in there.
decade ago.
Yeah, right. They're all gathered around.
This is pre-concert.
Probably.
He's got the pick.
Beat that.
The same reaction they had to Phil Collins in one of those videos I was watching last night.
The drum
Susu
roll.
Studio?
That's right. Oh, man. Well, the internet is vast.
It is.
So
Undefeated.
Yeah.
I got from solo track computer to solo drum solo, and just under that was now it was on. Once
Right.
I got the black
The
drummer
algorithm.
and Neil Peart.
Yeah, that's
then
scary that your algorithm knows you that well that it took that leap.
It
was
did.
like, I know you're looking for that, but we know you, Adam. So here's your next video.
I don't know. I guess it's the word solo, and evidently you find out that Beats by Dre makes a solo 2 headphone or something. It's just you realize that whatever I'm looking for is always the least popular version of what
Of
everyone
what
else,
Right.
what's in
exists.
society.
Sure.
There's always something else that comes up first that I'm not interested in. But Bobby Hatfield, 03, 63. Do you have his stats? And then I took a little dive into the Righteous Brothers, and those guys were so goddamn good.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
The best. And the fact that Bill Medley didn't even sing on that song, they're probably the most iconic song.
Yep.
He just sat in the background and said, take it.
That guy was 25.
I think
Yeah.
He
Bill
looks like a
Medley-
man.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Born
sure.
in 40.
The
Well, that
legend
was
goes,
65.
Dawson might know this. Bill Medley said to, I think, Phil Spector, whoever the producer was, what the fuck am I supposed to do while he's singing the song? Like, go sit over there and count your money. Because the song was so goddamn popular.
I'm glad you wrote that down because when I had a buzz, I was making all sorts of crazy chicken scratches on my paper, and I wrote "Dead Phil," and I didn't know what that was, but
Phil Spector?
Phil Spector. Look, I
Whoever
know
produced the
people
song.
I'm the worst person in the world, but I love George Harrison's solo shit, "My Sweet Lord," and
That other one.
No, well,
All the solos.
I'll toss a few out, and then when I found out Phil Spector was involved in
Give
this,
Me
I was
Love.
like, "Give me love, great." He shouldn't have been incarcerated. He's a fucking treasure. He shot one cocktail waitress, one, versus all the pleasure that he's brought the world.
All the
Do you know what I
iconic
mean?
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
The wall
Sometimes
of
you have
sound.
to outweigh what you give to then what you take.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. All right. So what's oh yeah, Dawson.
Regarding Bobby Hatfield's death, I think we found probably the most droll sentence on Wikipedia that ever existed.
All right.
Hatfield died at the Radisson Hotel in downtown Kalamazoo, Michigan on November 5th, 2003.
That's
Saddest shit I've ever heard.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He went from that to being in some hotel room on the road doing the oldies
The
roundup.
Radisson.
Just that, and I'm going to talk to my son. This is how it goes,
Yeah.
except for the part where you're up on stage at 25. That you'll have the Radisson part. We all are going to have the Radisson part. Your job is to see if you can get one of those before Radisson comes creeping up on your ass. You understand? We're all going to the Radisson in Kalamazoo. That's what happened to the dog.
Yeah.
We're all going to the Radisson Kalamazoo. There's no arguing with that.
Yeah.
The question is, how many
do
of
you get
those
there?
moments are we going to have before we make the final
That's right.
late checkout?
Mine's
at
going to
the
be a
Radisson
comedy
in
condo,
Kalamazoo?
unfortunately.
That's right. Comedy condo in Kalamazoo.
At the Radisson to Dead or Alive companies, no idea if the Radisson still exists.
Yeah. How many of those? And then do you really die if you're sitting around and tons of black people are going nuts to your image from 1965?
They say you die twice, once when you die and once when the last person stops speaking your name. So this guy's going to live forever.
Thank you, Rabbi Gina Grad.
How dare you?
Spare us your Talmud
That's
talk.
Rebbitzin to you.
Okay. Yeah, sad, right?
He was found by Bill Medley and the Righteous Brothers road manager, Dusty Hanvey.
Oh, man.
Security guard let them into Hatfield's room after he failed to show up at the concert venue when expected.
Radisson Salon B.
He apparently died in his sleep hours before a scheduled Righteous Brothers concert. In January 2004, a toxicology report concluded that cocaine use had precipitated a fatal heart attack. The initial autopsy found that Hatfield had advanced coronary disease. The medical examiner stated that, in this case, there was already a significant amount of blockage to the coronary arteries.
Yeah.
That's an old pro, though, somebody that can sleep on blow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
For sure.
Just do a bump and then lay
Or
down.
you do a
for it.
freeze
nap.
and then catch a few Z's.
Let me relax.
You're right. That's a veteran cocaine. Because the amateur hours up organizing all night. And,
Pacing.
Writing lists of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Right. But to hit the hay after a few rails,
Yeah.
that's a veteran. That's a
yeah.
veteran coke
I've
move.
fallen asleep from taking a bump, and then my jaw kept moving. It was like a chicken that runs after its head's cut off.
That's your next stand-up special.
Cocaine.
I do
Hot
cocaine.
rails.
It first off, it always just has to be sad for everyone except for Yoko Ono, who evidently is never going to that Radisson in Kalamazoo. She's just here annoying for the rest of our lives. The guys we'd like to keep around, like the Righteous. But God, I even wonder what show that was. Like in 2003, it was some
Casino.
sad.
Branson.
Or a fair.
Or no, what they do is those oldies roundup guys or like chubby checkers going on
next is
first.
spinners.
Yeah, keep it to 20 minutes. Do not go over 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Do a medley of their hits.
Yeah, do you
Right.
think whoever found him was like upset or mad that they weren't going to get paid for that show?
Yeah.
Dusty, the road manager, definitely was not happy about. I mean, it was probably the first question. There were proclamations like, "Oh my God," and this is so sad. But the first question was, "We're still getting paid."
And you know what
Just
probably
cancel out the
sucked is
rider?
they had already loaded in.
They'd already loaded in.
We see where your allegiance lies,
There was
Dawson.
one righteous brother there.
And does Bill Medley then have to go out on stage and make an announcement?
I think the show's probably canceled.
I'd be curious. Kalamazoo 03.
But you're
What
right,
the
there
hell
probably is
that
a
was?
number of acts.
It was. They were supposed to perform at Western Michigan University's Miller Auditorium.
Okay.
What did he look like in 03? Because he was just, like you said, not a hair out of place. He's gorgeous. He looks like a true man. At 25, I looked like a baby. He looked like he had a handle on life.
Yeah.
I'm curious what he
definitely sold you some timeshare in Florida when he was 25. They both sort of aged okay.
Still handsome.
They
A
didn't
little
get
claymation-y.
they didn't get fat,
No.
which is the best thing you can say.
Good for them.
All right, a update on what did we have there with TJ Miller?
Oh, yeah.
We had an update on TJ Miller.
Big story.
Am I looking at that or am
yeah.
I-
No,
oh,
it's
I
true.
heard we were
I'll
going to do it in
also
news.
never
so
work
I
with
took it
Ryan
off.
Reynolds.
Oh, we're going to do it in the news.
Yeah, we can do it in
okay,
news.
we'll do it in the news. Mike, you were doing shows at Caroline's when Justin Bieber showed up. That show?
Yeah, I was. So I think we were doing the show right before you guys, and I was in the bar, and I watched him walk down the steps, and he had two small guys with him, which I thought was odd because I figured he'd have huge bouncers, but they were like the cauliflower ear. Glittery affliction shirt
right.
at that time, maniacs that looked like they could twist your head off. But yeah, I totally remembered that the moment I walked in here and saw your logo. That randomly he walked in, and that was around the time that he was like making his rounds in New York City comedy. He was just at Dangerfields of all places with Selena Gomez. He was like one of the 9 people at that show.
Selena Gomez is another one of those crazy bitches who's doing a documentary about, the courage to be me or something.
She
Like,
is?
yeah, she's got something. See, I see the commercials.
Is it called like Hard to Be Hot?
It's hard to be an 11-year-old millionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really about finding. Everybody's on a journey to find their truth and have courage. And
My Mind and Me.
My Mind and Me. She's finding. She's on her journey.
I've had 2 lucid wet dreams about Selena Gomez in my
Really?
adult
Lucid?
life. Lucid, yeah. To the point where one, I actually woke up in that classic, like you can't make yourself fall back asleep and get into the same dream. I dropped back in.
Oh,
I was
wow.
right back in.
Good
we
for
had,
you.
yeah, we picked up our date where it left off. It was pretty
Wet
great.
dream. It's been a while.
I know. Yeah. At that point, I think my wife was in China working, and I had all this shit to do, so I couldn't jerk off, and I was just, busting.
You couldn't jerk off, or you didn't jerk off.
Yeah, that's
did
on
It's-
you.
No,
Fair enough.
you don't have 3.5 minutes.
If you believe in yourself, there
I was
would have been
passing
time.
out flyers in Times Square at the time. So I was
And
like,
jerking off?
Yeah, well, trying to at least, harness it with my brain. And it wouldn't work. But I woke up thinking that her and I had like a real connection. And I realized that that's how serial killers are born.
Yeah, it is. Hey, read Catcher in the Rye. And let's just see.
Go pay John Lennon a visit.
The dream, I'm very interested in the dream having to coast to a stop after you're up, which is, I've done the same thing, which is like, oh, Giselle Bundchen wants to blow me. And then I wake up and I'm like, okay, now it's about 40% her wanting to blow me, but it's going to take a while
I
to
get it
kind
back.
of clear the system. or you do that with Rich Guy or even Bad Dreams, the same thing. Like it takes a while to sort of come down from that, recalibrate.
So here's a would you rather. Would you rather wake up from an unbelievably awesome dream and you're feeling great and then you, of course, suddenly realize that it's not true? Or you wake up from a fucking crazy, horrific nightmare and then you suddenly realize it's not true? Which one would you rather?
I like that. I like the bad because I like reality to be an upgrade. Same with my traffic theorem. You know what I mean? It factors what other people are doing on other sides adjacent to me. And I mostly have annoying dreams.
You don't have terror dreams, night terrors.
Very rarely. My dreams are like, oh, I showed up and I didn't, we got a game and I didn't bring my cleats. I got to go home. Really mundane, but boring, annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather the opposite.
Yeah,
'cause
same.
I don't want to be startled awake all fucked up.
The experience of the bad dream is a bad experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, and I also have dreams like I go down to my car and somebody stole my alternator. And fuck. But it's not that bad, but it's like, shit. Like I have a lot of shit, boring
You have such
dreams.
specific anxiety dreams,
Yeah.
though. Like that's like so catered to you. I have ones where my teeth turn into wet sunflower seeds and then fall out.
And then you come.
Yeah, that's my Selena Gomez dream.
You can't do all that blow before you go to bed.
Your teeth will fall out.
I also haven't had a dream in like 6 years, but yeah, before then. Those,
Well, you had them, right? You just don't remember them?
I guess so. I think, but I smoke weed to go to sleep because I have awful insomnia. I fall asleep kind of easy, but staying asleep is a huge issue.
Yeah.
So I think what I've heard is that completely blocks dreams, or you don't have any kind of you can't retain them. But either way, I just don't. I don't have them.
I just have the ones I remember and the ones I don't, and then there's some of them are like, oh, I got this great idea, and then you write it down, and then it sucks. You do that with jokes.
I had a dream where I was waiting in real life for an email from Comedy Central, and I had a dream that I opened my computer, saw an unread message from Comedy Central, and a tornado ripped off my apartment. My apartment flooded, and there were alligators all over the floor, and I had like an inside of a paper towel to try to stop it, beat it back.
And then you came.
And then I came.
All right, let me tell you about Tommy John. Let me tell you how much I love Tommy John. I got up and I hit my rowing machine for 20 minutes in the morning, and I always do it with my Tommy Johns. I'm wearing them now. I put the Tommy Johns on, and I was reaching for the gym trunks, and I thought, what do I need those for?
No,
I got my Tommy
redundant.
Johns on. These guys are the best. Breathable, lightweight fabric, 4 times the stretch of competing brands. No wedgie guarantee, non-rolling waistbands, legs that never ride up, horizontal quick draw fly. They do lounge wear, guaranteed to fit perfectly, and so comfy, cozy. Non-piling. Hold on, what word is this?
Pilling?
Pilling. I'm sorry.
You know when it pills up, the little fabrics
non-pilling,
kind of ball
like a
up?
pill bug.
Yeah.
Non-pilling micro-modal fabric means no lint balls or fuzz. All I'm telling you is I got on to Tommy John about 6-8 years ago, and I will not wear anything else. They don't have customers. They have fanatics. It's the best pair you'll ever wear. It's free. Guarantee, right, Dawson?
Go to TommyJohn.com/Adam right now for 25% off lounge and sleepwear. TommyJohn.com/Adam. 25% off lounge and sleepwear. TommyJohn.com/Adam. See site for details.
Deontay Wilder's going to join us in a few. He's a heavyweight. He is a devastating heavyweight. He's 42-2-1. He's 40. There's 42 wins and 41 knockouts.
Jesus.
That's devastating. But he couldn't get past Tyson Fury. He just couldn't get past that guy. He was considered an all-timer, Rocky Marciano retired with 49-0. And it's always the goal to get to Rocky Marciano's record as a heavyweight, but no one can make it there. He was heading there, unstoppable, but that fucking Tyson Fury guy's so freakishly tall and sort of crazy. Yeah. And they've had crazy fights. They had a draw. They have very close fights, but it's just cannot get past that.
You can't knock out a former meth addict.
Ooh,
it's impossible. It's still lingering in his system.
I got a video compilation. Let's show black people Tyson Fury beating the shit out of other black people. And I'm going, no way. What the hell? Tyson dude was black.
Box.
They box. They sing. They box. What can't Whitey do? All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with the news, which we're bumping up right after this.
Let's start with that TJ Miller update. So he came on here and was just super conversational, super open, talked about all kinds of stuff, talked about Ryan Reynolds. And he mentioned that he didn't think that Ryan Reynolds was a big fan of him and doesn't think he would work with him again. And every news media outlet on the planet seemingly picked up that story. Well, apparently that news got back to Ryan Reynolds. And now TJ Miller just appeared on the Jim Norton show, and they talked about what happened after Ryan reached out.
Has Ryan Reynolds reached out to you because of your comments?
I bet not. I heard he's very mean.
Yeah, he has.
Oh shit!
It was really cool. He emailed me the next day and kind of said this is, and it was a misunderstanding. So I emailed him back, and now it's like fine.
Wow. You know? Did you think he would get back to you or no?
No. What's ridiculous is it was just me telling a story from on set that I thought was weird. That was it. But I just wasn't thinking about how the media will meet it.
Right.
So, and that's a big problem I have in general, is kind of not thinking about what the repercussions of saying this or that would be. But I think, yeah, it was very cool for him to say, hey, you know, I just heard on the show that you were upset about this. And I kind of said, you know, I'm not. And then we sort of just hashed it out really quickly. But it was, again, I wasn't saying anything. He is so funny, which I always maintain. And he's so amazing in those movies. And so that was kind of it, you know, because it's so funny. I said all these complimentary things and none of that shows up.
Yeah, it's the one negative thing that they're like, oh.
Because that's the clickbait.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really a bummer. But yeah, he was really cool about it, and he's a good dude. It just, I told the story because it was weird and funny to me. And yeah, then it gets picked up, and people are like,
he got picked up by everywhere too. I was like literally like on 1010 wings.
In India,
in
India they were. Yes, yeah.
I want to welcome our new Indian listeners.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad? Like I've said stuff like that, and then someone's like, oh, I didn't.
All right,
like
are we going to listen to the whole show? Okay.
That's a good call.
That's good.
I do have a brain tumor, but I remember TJ going on about how Ryan Reynolds' image was very curated and maybe not very authentic. It was more than just the one story from the set, right?
Yes.
That was also
maybe
mentioned.
I was a treatment day. Maybe I had an infusion and blacked out.
He soft pedaled what he said in this studio. But that's kind of the dance
Well, and
that people
also,
do.
especially after the person reaches out and I assume sort of apologize, you don't double down.
Yeah,
magnanimous.
I get what he was doing.
But yeah, so there you go.
Maybe he got a part in the third one.
Yeah, I was going to say, Weasel's going to be in 3.
We'd love for you to come by for a day.
Hey, Chris, check the screen. Tell me if it looks weird to you. Sorry, go ahead.
So let's do a little Alex Jones update. The last we heard from him, he got on a flight and sort of fucked off and didn't want to be in the courtroom for the next proceedings, but they've made a decision. He is ordered to pay by a Connecticut judge $965 million for spreading lies that the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax and that the families were involved were crisis actors, which I'm pretty sure that was the first time I'd ever heard that term. I don't know if he coined
actors?
it. Yeah.
I've said for many years I want to hire people for funerals, mostly the reaction video people. You know what I mean? They're like, I want someone to throw themselves into the grave and yell, "Take me." I don't want my fucking dumb white friends going, "You owe me money."
I'd like my agent to send me some crisis actor sides.
Yeah,
I would easily be in the next terrorist attack.
Yeah, you could do this.
Make me SAG eligible.
So insane. It's. Again, I don't react to it like other people, and I don't know why, because it all sounds so insane to me that people would question that.
I used to host a podcast about conspiracy theory called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and one of my co-hosts was a hardcore Sandy Hook truther, and he went so far as to say that the school was inactive, there were no real kids, nobody worked there.
But if he's a truther, then the truth is a bunch of kids got killed.
It depends who you talk to.
But I don't understand why people like flat Earth truthers like flip that.
Well, because they're going away from conspiracy theorists because it's a stigmatized.
They know the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, are you still friends with them?
I mean, no, but we passively talk every once in a while because I like to get his updates on flat Earth and whatever.
Sure, I would too.
Yeah.
So he's in on all of it.
Oh,
right?
he's mostly flat Earth guy. People would know who he is. He's Flat Earth Dave, DITRH.
I think Dr. Drew would like to have a word with him.
Oh, yeah.
It drives Drew nuts. I just think of them as people. Oh, look. we brought up DJ Khaled. A lot of people like his music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't need to be eliminated. They're just insane.
Yeah.
But this is a good example of there's no such thing as your truth.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My truth is that the earth is
But they're
flat.
like religious zealots. They do it mostly for the community, and it's like a shared belief system. It has nothing to do with the truth. It's more about the fact that they feel like they belong.
So back to Alex Jones, perfect dovetail.
Well, let me say this. Here's what you have to understand. There's groups, and the groups have beliefs, and the beliefs don't sort of live in a vacuum. Like there's some people that just fucking hate this country, but they never say they hate this country. They just never stop talking about Japanese American internment camps, and we could have liberated the Jews in the camps earlier, and we gave guns to the Santonese, but we invented slavery. But I love this country. But it's like your theme says everything. So I was doing Howie Mandel's podcast, and he's got an engineer that's a truther.
Nice.
And I don't know, we were talking about COVID or something, and he was talking about he didn't want to get injected because he didn't think that, maybe it was the microchip or whatever it was.
Your skin becomes magnetic.
But
I
took
said
the call
to him,
on his iPhone.
But I also, but I said, and you're flat earther, right? And he's like, yeah, I am. And you're the Jews took down the Twin Towers. He's like, yeah, I am. So it's like, it's not just this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of everything. And then you kind of wonder, are they just going against whatever is? Because there was a lot of folks, if you're around long enough, like sort of counterculture, whatever. They just push back against whatever it was. If that guy's got short hair and a suit, then I'm going to wear a poncho and grow my hair out. That's me. I'm just going against whatever is popular, whatever the narrative is.
But we talk about how certain women, how they react. It's all signs point to they probably hate their stepdads. Wouldn't this be the same thing, but the other way around?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know where there's... The New World Order, I've realized, is whether you're Alex Jones or doing a podcast, everyone goes, who believes? Then we got 330 million people. You only need 1% of them to sign up for your website.
Yeah.
You'll be
buy supplements.
You'll be fine.
Well, to that end, Jones did not appear in court for this, but he did appear on his online show as the jury's decision was read, laughing and mocking the amounts being awarded. Then he urged his audience to donate money to his company and buy products from the store to fight this fraud and save InfoWars, and suggested he doesn't intend to pay anyway.
And did we make Alex Jones who he is by us not us, but society constantly trotting him out all the time, like as a household name?
It's a good question.
He was big there. He was big like underground, and then kind of conspiracy became mainstream.
Right.
It felt like, and he became like kind of a pundit more than an outlier. But in terms of like conspiracy theorists, what I've found, at least with the people that we were interviewing, is a lot of them suffered a very specific life trauma that then focused all of their attention to how the outside world was fucking them over. So they did no internal audit. They're all just how things are lined up to be against them.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something propelling it. It's not logic or prudence or fine decision making. There's something propelling it. Like there is, the punk rock movement. It wasn't really the music. Nobody wants to shave their head and style their mohawk with shaving cream. It's like you have to, something propels it.
It was more
something,
fuck your music.
Fuck your music. Yeah. I need to make a statement. Sadly, that's what most things are.
Yeah.
It's not I am this, it's I'm pushing back against that.
Right.
And then
I'm getting a reaction.
Yeah.
An extreme reaction.
Yeah, we got, I've said it all the time, Enzo Ferrari, Ferrari made a good car, but we also have the Ford GT40 that won Le Mans 4 years, and we also have Lamborghini because of pushback against him. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was such a dick that they went, fuck you, I'm making my own car. Yeah. And now we get a Lamborghini and a Ford GT40.
Well, that's a good point why there's no Illuminati. There's no centralized Illuminati. There's groups that are fighting for power, and it's messy. There's not a uniform, cloaked round table that is making worldwide decisions. They couldn't possibly align on everything.
That's true.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
If you believe that.
That's what I want
Go
you
back to
believe.
sleep, sheeple. Well, let's do a quick update on a local update. Ms. Nuri Martinez. She's the Los Angeles City Council member at the heart of this scandal with the recorded conversation she's heard making some unsavory comments about a fellow council member and his child. She has officially resigned. She did that. She left her post as council president earlier in the week. She also plans to really leave as well, a leave of absence. Her resignation comes after everybody, including Biden, called for her to step down. And the one thing I don't think we talked about in the recording, because it was a long recording, she makes derogatory comments about Mike Bonin and his adopted son. She also refers to Bonin as a little bitch.
Good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Everyone else, by the way, the labor leader, Ron Herrera, resigned. Gil Cedillo, he lost a June primary. His term ends in December. Kevin De Leon, he's up for re-election, but we'll see about that.
Yeah. Well, again, you're going to keep breaking everyone off into groups as a Latina, as, blah, blah, blah. We need more Latina representatives. Then, of course, you're going to sit there and talk shit about the other teams that aren't on your team. There's two parts of being a fan. One is I love my team, and the other part is fuck the Giants or the Dodgers or the Steelers. It's a two-way street. You can't just go, I'm a proud... What do you think goes on in prison? It's not a bunch of proud Hispanics and proud blacks. You got to fucking start the shank and the shiv.
You got to race up.
You got to race up, and then you got to put something in someone's between the ribs, a sharpened toothbrush. Like, you don't get just as go where it's two ways. So if you're going to sit around and start talking about black pride or brown pride or Latina, it's going to go this direction.
Yeah.
I guess Bonin is white.
Yeah.
And then he adopted a black son.
Which I don't think even came up, which was nice, I guess.
That's progressive.
No, they probably didn't know.
Kids and wives seem to be more like up for grabs now in shit talk, right? Like in public discourse. I mean, like Kanye's going at Bieber's wife. Like everybody's
Remember
kind of bringing.
how Trump eviscerated Ted Cruz's wife?
Yes, yeah, that's
and
a wild
I think Mitch
thing.
McConnell's wife too.
Yeah, it used to. Well, I don't know. I mean, there was, Max Baer Sr. Finding Jim Bratton talking shit about talking shit to his wife at the club that may have happened or never happened.
In the movie.
Apollo Creed?
In the movie. But
Hey, one.
Yeah, it used to be.
You're a real man.
It used to be kind of off limits, but I think it's on now.
Yeah.
Speaking of pride, I don't have time to send it to them, but Andy took my stepson last night to another preseason Laker game, and guess what night it was?
Oh, gay pride.
Everybody got a rainbow jersey.
Oh.
Look how
Of
great
course
this
it's in the
jersey is.
preseason.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a preseason giveaway.
Oh, look at the back. Look at the back.
Now with 40% less monkeypox. Pride. What the fuck? Just go be gay. Shut up about it. That's my whole deal. I don't need to know everyone's everything. Like, hey, what about me? I like the 69. Who's with me? Come on, where's our T-shirt?
They have to conjure up interest in their team somehow. You got Russell Westbrook not even standing in the huddle. He's telling teammates to go fuck themselves. It's bleak.
God, it's like you're at my house last night. It's exactly the conversation.
By the way, speaking of that, I wrote it down, but I forgot to tell you, Chris. But you watch TMZ, Chris?
I didn't know.
I said, do you watch TMZ?
Yeah, I'll watch it every once in a while.
What would you say? What would that? How would that translate? You think?
I would say probably once or twice, but probably once a week.
All right, so once a month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They were talking about. Oh God, let's see. I wrote it down here. Draymond
Green.
Green. Yeah, his mom sent out a tweet defending him.
Yeah, she did.
And I love this woman.
Oh, when they get involved.
Yes,
Mom.
they get involved. I mean, we have footage of your son throwing a Superman punch at a teammate's face, and you're fucking defending your son, which I love.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a woman who could definitely be in that Phil Collins reaction video right there.
It also like inadvertently showcases the probable violence that happened in their house. Early. It's like, so that's cool. You're just down with your son punching a teammate.
Thank you for not using any of your negotiating skills.
Here's the tweet. This is from Mary B, a.k.a. Babbers Green. That wasn't a sucker punch. Dre didn't aggressively go to Poole. His hands were down. Man to man, you go over to talk, to ask what's up, what you say. Got shoved and reacted. End of story.
Well, first he gave him the chest bump, which then initiated the shove, which then initiated the flying right.
If a guy's directly in your face, your first thing is to create space.
You have to create that
and
space.
he was just over. Poole's a skinny guy. Draymond's much bigger, and he couldn't step aside, so he had to throw a push. And everybody is not looking in the video, so you could tell that this type of like verbal interaction happens all the time. And then as soon as he drops him, people are like, "Oh shit!" They turned around. Yeah,
I just like his mom. I'm in love with this woman.
And on one of her other tweets, she signs off #family business. Like, don't you guys worry about it.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah.
Amy corrected me. I said Apollo Creed, of course, meant Clubber Lang.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. You may move on.
Thank you. So let's talk about let's do a follow up with Deontay Adams. Remember we talked about him getting a little handsy with the photographer that jumped in front of him?
Yeah.
Well,
the photographer was holding a C-stand, so they were like getting ready to set up a post-game interview somewhere. So, we're calling him a photographer, but he was probably kind of a grip goomper guy. The guy goes to the van and gets the C-stand, and then he was just sort of crossing past him. Like, he didn't jump in front of him. He was just passing by him with the C-stand. Like, he was trying to get to the other end zone while this guy... It was this little bit of a bad timing thing, but he still pushed him.
Well... Adams is being charged.
According to Draymond's mom, that was perfect.
Like
self-defense. Somebody comes at you with a C-stand. You got to defend yourself.
He's charged with a misdemeanor assault for shoving a freelance ESPN photographer after the loss of the Chiefs Monday.
That guy had to go to the hospital, except for he didn't have to go to the hospital.
Intentional act that caused bodily injury. Suffered whiplash, a headache, and possibly a minor concussion.
Okay, I saw it. He's a 24-year-old dude.
He's going to be all right.
Who just fell on his butt.
He'll
it's
10K.
fine. It reminds me of those paparazzis who flop in front of Selena Gomez's SUV when she's leaving.
My leg!
They ran over my foot. Then they lay on the ground for a long period of time, and they go.
Everyone's ignoring them.
Everyone goes, dude, get up. And they go, no, go get an ambulance. Right, because he fell down. They picked him up.
Whiplash? I don't know.
The guy's like in his mid-20s. Yeah. They pick him up, and look, here's my thing. You were going somewhere with a C-stand. Did you get there and drop it off? Because if you did, I'm throwing this shit out. If you finished your rounds with that C-stand, if that thing made it over to NFL Tonight in the fucking end zone, it's my same thing with the the hot blonde Florida teacher who's accused of having sex with her 15-and-a-half-year-old student. I'll put that guy up in the stand. I just go, you were a victim? Yes, I was. You were abused by this woman? Yes, I was. You ever beat off to it? You're under oath. Maybe a couple times before I got therapy. Okay, so you beat off to this is crime?
Yeah.
You've been victimized? You think people that are attacked in subways beat off to it later on? Like the woman that got the shit kicked out of her in her orbital socket, crushed by the crazy man kicking her in the head?
No.
Because she went home and fucking flicked her bick?
That's an amazing metric.
And if the answer is you beat off to it, then there's no crime. And if the answer, if you showed up, set up that C-stand, put the sandbags on it.
And beat off to
it. If you finish your job, then you did not suffer whiplash.
This used to be an honor, for people that worked at a stadium to get hit by an athlete. Like, how many times was Mickey Mantle blackout drunk, throwing up in a garbage can, and then turned around and popped a bat boy right in the face?
It's a rite of passage. Is there anything, Chris, on him like after that tape, like further? Like, did he get up? Did he walk? He landed. The guy helped him up. He bounced up, and he went about his business. But he got hit by Deep Pocket.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the suing
Somebody
comes
got in his ear, for sure. Somebody after was like, dude, you're going to be rich. And he's like, done.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, while they look for that, let's follow up on one more scandal.
Same guy, by the way, got knocked over by the long snapper 3 years ago. Didn't file.
It didn't bother.
Oh, wow.
That's right, because he's making the league minimum. You guys didn't hear that?
No, it didn't make the news.
Oh, well,
I guess
now
that's
it
why.
does. That's right.
We have a follow-up on those two guys who cheated in the walleye competition by stuffing their
Yes.
fish with weights. You may have seen this. I'll show you again because it's great.
I thought walleye was a word for retarded.
It is, but in this
He
sense.
just stares at that wall.
A grand jury just nailed them with multiple felonies.
Wow.
Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky were just indicted for attempted grand theft and possessing criminal tools, both felonies. They've also been charged with the misdemeanor of unlawfully owning wild animals, I guess because the fish. Meanwhile, these guys have been under suspicion for cheating in other tournaments. They were investigated by the cops for similar types of cheating, but there wasn't enough evidence because the prize is like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
It
a
could be
whole
bigger.
thing. Here,
Is it? Well, I was this one 15
no, this was like 25.
or 25, and it was like 15 or 25.
Here's a clip of the chaos that ensued when they figured it out.
What were you thinking?
It's mostly just for the crowd.
I need pictures.
He's taking all the fish out of the basket.
Got video.
He said that motherfucker's going to jail.
Hold on, let me take pictures. You fucked over a lot of people, man.
Let's get black people reacting to this video. This is our kind of crime. You understand? We do white collar and we do walleye.
Yeah. Between this, the chess, and the poker cheating
Yes.
scandals,
This
it's
is
like,
this is kind of where we're at.
If you can't insert it into something, we're not
right.
interested.
You know, not so much for punching Asians because there's no real payday. You know what I mean?
It's fun. but-
unless you're Mark Wahlberg.
Ooh.
Good one. Deep
Yeah,
call.
it's a good one. Deep call.
whatever happened?
$29K. What happened to that?
Whatever happened with Mark
He
Wahlberg?
punched a guy, Asian guy.
He hit him with an object, right?
But like
He
what?
fucked him up.
Right.
I think he had apologized and restitution and blah blah blah.
Interesting.
And that's why he spent some time in jail? Was it that incident?
Oh, I think it was the Funky Bunch.
I think so. Speaking of spending time in jail, you know, there's a like hierarchy. Like if you killed a cop, you're good, you know, but if you molested a kid, you're not good. Where does weighting down a fish? You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's going to instill a lot of fear. You know, as you walk out to the rec center, people start clearing out. Guys, waiting walleyes, dude. I think you'd have to come up with a more streetier version of what you're in there for.
Very good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't go completely away. Go like kill the cop with a walleye.
With a weighted walleye.
In case they check your story. You know?
And someone will call it, that's the fish guy. Yeah, I know, dude.
Yeah, smell his fingers, man. That's the fish guy. He'll fuck you up.
Well, let's move on to some more hot TMZ gossip. They report that Kim Kardashian is paying for heightened security at her kid's private school since Kanye has been announcing the name of the school, publicly creating heightened security risk. He's been trying to get the 4 kids to enroll in his school, the Donda Christian Academy. He's been Instagramming the name of the school where the kids are, where it presents all these
Did
problems.
he start a school?
The Donda Academy.
Yeah.
I want
Not
to tell you about
accredited.
it.
Not accredited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kanye's been putting on this full court press on Kim to enroll the kids at Donda, but Kim has resisted since it's not accredited. Rolling Stone says it offers parkour, a cone of silence, and a principal with no formal teaching experience.
It's like that movie Accepted.
Yes, I love that.
I would
was a
like
great
to go to the
documentary.
Donda Academy
As
when I
a
was
kid, I would like
Yes.
to go.
Yeah.
Parkours where you're jumping over walls and apartment
like onto
buildings and
trash
stuff.
cans and up the
Oh,
wall.
I would have excelled.
You leave with a guaranteed 2 million followers on TikTok.
Absolutely. Meanwhile,
He's not doing his Sunday like Malibu church choir sing along
I
celebrity
don't
thing
know.
anymore?
You may have been the one to answer this question. Somebody did, because I was like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then somebody posited that the point is to try and get his house or his compound signed off as a church to avoid taxes.
Kris Jenner did that too.
Okay,
She
so
started her own church. People do that all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, they just start their own church and it's like a tax shelter.
I feel like we're praying here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kanye should do like a Saturday temple. That should, to make amends.
Yeah,
That
make
should be
amends
his-
to the Jewish Death Con 3 people.
Glad you said that.
Mel Gibson. If Mel Gibson hasn't done this, then it's not been done.
Right.
If to clarify, to declare that your house is a church,
Yeah.
and because
He
he
may
has
have,
a
yeah.
church in Malibu,
Catholic
too.
church, I imagine.
Yeah. Didn't
I
Nicolas
guess.
Cage do like a pyramid church in his backyard or something like that?
I would go to that in a fucking
Oh
heartbeat.
yeah, me too.
wow, you found a religion, and then you get a tax.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the wheels are turning for Adam.
The Carollites.
Well, I mean, there's all these things where they go, you register your car in Montana and you don't have to pay for the, like, I get that, but this is a whole new level.
Yeah, no,
I'm starting a church.
This is amazing.
I must get a gown made. I got to start growing my beard out. It's a lot of work.
Where do you buy communion?
That's right.
I've Googled this and I've never gotten a satisfying answer. Can anyone tell me why churches don't get taxed?
I don't know. I don't know. They fall under the nonprofit, but they make profit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've seen some of these buildings. They're
They
exquisite.
have rubles that could reset the economy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should look at that.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Vice posted those clips. I don't know if you saw the unaired parts of his interview with Tucker that he apparently... This was apparently not fit for air, that there are fake children placed in his house to manipulate his real children.
Crisis actors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some other thing, about how blacks are the original Jews and...
Oh, yeah.
And his kids are being taught about Kwanzaa, but if they were taught about Hanukkah, at least they'd have some financial knowledge. He said he was vaccinated.
That's a good joke.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I don't think it was a joke,
Cut
but
that one.
sure. It didn't make
all
it in.
jokes are steeped in some truth.
Yeah. He's vaccinated. That didn't make it in. But he also claims that he's going to be the first. Remember, he said he's going to be the first president, the first Latino president.
Oh.
So he has a lot of stuff going on. Rumored, remember the picture of he and, oh my God, I just forgot her name.
Candace Owens?
Thank you. Candace Owens together. There's rumors that she's heading up his presidential campaign.
She's like his daily person, right? She gives him like advice.
Well, let me hit a spot here, and then I will react. First, Good Ranchers. Halloween's around the corner, and you're not the only one in a costume. Your grocery store meat is as well. Wearing the product of the USA label doesn't make it the real thing. You don't want any spooky meats. Good Ranchers, they deliver America's best meat and seafood year-round. Skip the meat aisle. I've tried the other meat delivery companies, and Good Ranchers is the best. It only comes from American farms. It's great, high-end protein. If you're sticking to your Vinne diet, you definitely got to get some Good Ranchers on your plate. Elevate your burgers, meatballs, and tacos with my exclusive offer. 2 free pounds of Wagyu ground beef plus 20% off when you use the code ADAM at goodranchers.com/Adam. That is goodranchers.com/Adam. Wagyu ground beef. Let's get it, man. At goodranchers.com/Adam.
Put an end to low-quality, overpriced meat by going to goodranchers.com/Adam or use code ADAM to claim your 2 pounds of free ground beef and $20 off. You save $25 on every box and lock in your price when you subscribe. That's goodranchers.com/Adam.
Yeah, I was watching... I think I was watching TMZ, and I was watching The Rock trying to explain, he's at a 42% approval rating for running for president or whatever, and they want The Rock to run for president. So, we had it. Look, between Trump and now Biden, could you look anyone in the eye and go, you're just not capable? You're not fit. When one person was a celebrity and insane, and the other guy is just fucking completely gone. Yeah. And who...
No.
I mean, look, you see, what I'm saying is like we live in a world where, you walk into the airplane and you can't just go into the cockpit and go, I'll take the yoke, and they'll go, no, you couldn't do this. Or you watch the Lakers and you go, I'd like to get out there and see what I could do, show my handles off, and people just go, sit down. But could we honestly say that about being the president of the United States anymore?
Not now.
It's like when the internet came around, all of a sudden we were like, oh, we don't need travel agents anymore. We can just book our own flights. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, I think Kim Kardashian getting her law degree is like actually a step towards what she wants, like her running later.
Yeah, there's no such thing as looking at Dwayne Johnson and going, what would he doesn't know anything about politics.
How
what can you
perfect
imagine?
And
what
let's
would
not
happen?
forget-
Gas prices would be through the roof.
Let's not forget 2 great governors, Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura.
Right, and starting with Reagan. Of course.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's just...
We don't even remember him as an actor. It's
all
just the president.
It's all on the table.
Yeah.
You cannot say no. And you can't go, oh, come on. There's no way he's ever going to be able to. No, you just can't say it anymore.
In our recent history, between Trump becoming president and the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Do we have time for one more? Okay,
because you don't want to make Deontay wait.
No, sir. Let's talk Cher, one of many of our favorite subjects. She's famously, has that mansion in Malibu. It's up for grabs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's hitting the market at a price of $85 million. She bought it back in the day for $2.9.
Wow.
That was back in 1989. The Italy-inspired home took 5 years to build.
I know right where it is. I pass it every time you kind of go up the hill on PCH.
Would you like to hear some of the amenities?
Yeah.
It sits on 1.7 acres, opens with 40 palm trees, complete with a courtyard, a fountain. The main residence has 7 bedrooms, a primary suite, a meditation room, indoor-outdoor gym, and a home theater. And of course, my favorite feature that they should write into the clause like they did with Gene Wilder's house, if you buy this house, you cannot change this room. There is a climate-controlled wig room that can hold up to 100 hair pieces. And of course, it overlooks the Pacific Ocean.
Well, so you'd have to either have a lot of wigs or have something like, I love Cuban cigars, or I own ferrets.
Right.
I can easily convert this. They are not comfortable at room temperature.
Ted Danson might be the only one suitable.
That's right. Does
Ted
have
and
a
Dolly.
wig room.
That's right.
Oh, my God. Byron Allen just bought a $100 million house in Malibu.
Is now, what did they say? What's his title? A black man who bought the most expensive property in the country, or something like that.
He's a black man who has bought the most expensive house in the world. Another argument for racism over for me. Hey, Byron Allen lives in a $100 million house. Is that the kind of society you think we're?
That's wild. Just from teeing up other people's jokes and buying Richard Pryor's stuff, huh?
Yep.
That's amazing.
What he did, what he's done, Byron Allen did, it is kind of a racism over argument for me, which is there's so many perks or so many grants or so many gifts because they went black-owned X, Y, or Z. So it's like if you're a contractor and you're a black-owned contractor and you're getting a federal grant to build 100 miles of freeway, then you're good because they want a certain amount of black-run, black-owned, whatever. So he's like black-owned network, and so he gets all that shit. He goes for it and he gets it, and that's why he's a cajillionaire. And he's a hard worker and he's nice and everything else, but that's what he does.
Go tour that home.
The $100 million? I could probably, he likes me.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him. I could go over
I
there.
would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to have to tease this for another day. We still want to hear about your lunch with Sid Croft.
Oh, yeah. And I'm also now going to drop a bombshell. I'm opening a Merkin room in my condo.
Climate controlled?
Yeah. Oh, if you know anything about Merkins, they'll turn to dust inside of a fortnight if they're not protected.
Properly cooled?
Oh, it's like the Magna Carta could
you
be
got
put
good
in
air
there.
filters in there, too, for the smell.
Well, Deontay's running a couple minutes late, so we can... he's finishing up a TV spot, so we can keep going here.
Okay. The U.S. Congress is finally dealing with one of the biggest annoyances of the modern world, daylight savings time, or saving time. So while we're turning our clocks back on November 5th, that might be it. We may not do it again next year, any other year. If the feds pass Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio's Sunshine Protection Act of 2021, the Senate passed the bill in March. If the House follows suit, there will be no more falling back. Do we like that? Do we care?
Time has come.
I don't. I like Arizona. Just goes fuck it. We're not. You want us to all move our clocks? We're not. It's a pain in the ass.
It is confusing.
And then there's some places that do and some don't.
Mountain time.
When you travel, you don't know what time it is.
It really
when
sucks.
You get there.
It really sucks when you have a kid.
Yes.
That's when it truly fucks up. My son is 3 years old, and whenever it's daylight savings, it has truly ruined his sleep patterns and thus my life.
Right.
Well, thank God for the edibles.
Yeah, exactly.
For the kid?
Bump?
I have a lot bigger
bandwidth. Hey, look, Get them. They're gonna find out one day.
As long as it's under my roof.
That's right.
Yeah. That's why I have to keep them in a safe. They just look like they're made for him. All of them
they look like
his
Lucky
lunch snacks.
Charms and
Oh
shit.
my God! Yeah. All right, one more.
Are any of you familiar with pickleball? Because it is passing us by if you don't get in on
It's mini tennis
this.
or huge ping pong.
Thank you.
I took a deep dive into black people watching people play pickleball, and they're just shaking their head, going, "These fucking honkies! What?" We have basketball,
So we talked about that LeBron James bought an expansion team.
He did?
Yes, but it gets better. Tom Brady has now gotten involved. He is heading up an ownership group purchasing an expansion team for Major League Pickleball's 2023 season. And he's joined the group by various investors, four-time Grand Slam singles champion Kim Clijsters. Thank you. And LeBron James.
I felt like I've watched some pickleball. I wasn't that entertained.
No, it's
it's like big ping pong.
It's all the rage with old people right
Yes.
now, though, because it keeps you active. I know somebody, my parents' friend, just tore their Achilles their first moment playing pickleball.
Really?
Which is awesome. But all of these things are great because they kind of make it so like decent high school athletes like myself, but non-elite athletes could potentially be a professional athlete.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I would have dominated pickleball.
I was killer in gym class pickleball.
So you stand basically in a tennis court with a ping pong paddle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like a wiffle ball.
Oh, I was thinking of that other game where there's a hoop on the ground and three people are around it.
Yes, that's spike ball or something.
Spike ball.
That's like a beach activity.
It's just, we have others. This is like when someone wants to put, salmon on a pizza. I'm like, we have toppings.
Yeah,
we're good.
we're good.
We
Yeah,
have
crumble sausage.
There's 35 to choose from. We don't need a 30-fucking-6 that nobody wants. You know what I mean? Like, we got sports.
Yeah.
We're good. We got boxing, we got MMA, we got football. We're covered here.
Yeah.
We don't need this. We don't need a smaller version of a sport we already have, which is tennis, or a bigger version of a sport we already have, which is ping pong. Don't need it.
Yeah. I guess that's what happened to kickboxing before the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, kickboxing sort of kind of morphed into UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still out there, but
there's Muay Thai stuff overseas, but not really
Right,
here.
because when we were little, my dad took us to New York because he had to announce like 4 different kickboxing tournaments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that, again, it happened one time.
Yeah.
The All Valley Karate Tournament?
That's right. That's exactly
Still,
right.
the other day, I was still thinking about that. Like, the kick to the knee was illegal, but the ball of the foot under the bridge of the nose was completely above the board? What? You kicked a kid in the face with the ball of your foot. And this guy kicked you in the knee. Why is that illegal?
It's not fair.
And the reaction of the crowd is like, oh my God, he kicked him in the leg.
Not the knee.
Not the knee. It's not like that's the ball. It's not like it's an orbital socket or something like that.
You know, a lot of this gets addressed in Cobra Kai.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
How
good.
how Ralph Macchio could be looked at as the villain and cute, Zabka, maybe not so bad after all. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Deontay is how far away or just running late?
Last I heard, he was finishing his TV spot, but his team has been in touch. So.
All right, we'll do one more.
Oh, good. This video is ripe for the pluck-in, and I've been hoping we'd get to it. Jason Auld of Edinburgh, Scotland, broke a Guinness Book World Record by lifting a 150-pound barbell over his head while riding a unicycle. You have to take this guy down, Adam. Auld is a professional unicyclist, and enjoys weightlifting as a hobby. He said it took him and go ahead and put it up, it took him about 6 weeks of practice before he was able to successfully set the record. Let's see this guy do this incredible feat. And again, I feel like, could you do 151 on a unicycle and bust him out?
No, the best I could do is my trainer back in the day when I was trying to get in shape to the hammer. He started to realize that I had weird balance and insane,
like good balance,
like Rain Man counting toothpicks, but for balance, And so at a certain point, he just kept experimenting with me, and he'd say, "Stand on this yoga ball. Can you stand on this yoga ball?" And I'd climb up on it, and I would stand on it, and he'd go, then what if I took the medicine ball and I just kind of toss it to you sort of underhand? Do you think you could catch it? And I'm like, you do it. And the next thing you know, he's firing the yoga ball at me. I mean, the medicine ball while I'm standing on the yoga ball. At some point, I ate shit. But at another point, he's like, why don't we get on the unicycle and you go in circles around your courtyard
Joseph Miguel.
and I'll try to knock you off it by throwing the medicine ball at you as hard as I can.
It's a good afternoon.
And I could catch it and fire it back, but that's the most I could do.
Well,
I did on a unicycle.
No one's throwing anything at you.
Well,
it could
that's true.
be easier, so let's watch him do it.
In Scotland, Jason Auld has mastered the skill of weightlifting whilst unicycling.
You should get black people to
And in
watch this.
Mexico, Nicholas Montes de Oca.
Oh, that's the only clip. Yeah, going a little back and forth to keep his balance and pumps it up and down.
Was there a previous record of 149?
That's my question.
Well, that guy's better than I am, but
It only took him 6 weeks. I'm sure if you took a couple of months, you could do it.
yeah, the problem's when you get a little bit old. I'll put the air in the tire of the
Just the one?
unicycle back there, and we'll see what feats I can do off of that.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Let me tell you about my friend Jordan Harbinger. All right, so Deontay Wilder is waiting in the wings, but he's finishing something up. But I think he's going to be freed up in a moment. So let's give some plugs to Mike Cannon. How about that? Las Vegas, Nevada coming up. Skankfest Vegas. That'll be tonight through October 16th. And then Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club, October 19th and 20th. And for dates, you go to MikeCannonComedy.com. And if you want to watch the aforementioned stand-up special, Mike Cannon's Huge Mistake, full special is available for free on YouTube, right, Mike?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got 4 hours of comedy up there, plus a bunch of additional stuff. So all of it, youtube.com/MikeCannonComedy.
It is all free. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Deontay Wilder right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Stan, get it on. Listen, the other day on the show, you asked a question. You didn't get an answer, so I'm going to answer it for you. The question was, are we uniquely stupid in Los Angeles? The answer is fucking yes, you are.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Shots fired.
Deontay, we're still waiting for, so we'll talk about some other notes I made. But if you're going to bring up Los Angeles, I was saying to Dr. Drew earlier today, when you talk to guys who travel the world and they work with third world nations, you go, what's the biggest problem? And then you start thinking about grain or water. It's corruption. Corruption's the biggest problem they face, because how could you ever get a nation back on its feet if it's corrupt?
Right.
You could give them all the grain and all the seeds and all the water and all the technology, but if they're corrupt, you're fucked. But you have to realize that corruption, everyone agrees, like you can't have a corrupt society or a corrupt nation. But a form of a thing that manifests itself the same as corruption is wild regulation. That's sort of sanctioned corruption. It's not drug lords doing it. It's the government doing it.
It's mobbish.
If you're trying to start a business, you can't go to a corrupt place and try to start it. You'll go, no, I'm not gonna do it. California is so overly legislated that businesses just go, oh, we got to go to Texas.
What's the difference?
You can't be Elon Musk here for very long. You'll get overregulated, and so you move. So whatever that principle is, it's the pendulum swinging to the other side. You think the regulation is the opposite of corruption. It has the same effect. Okay, it may be the opposite, but whoever's trying to build a bullet train,
effectively, it's the same
they can't build the bullet train because it's California and it's too regulated. And the sad part is we go, corruption bad, regulation good. So let's get some more of that. But it ends up having the same effect.
Yeah.
And that's what we're experiencing in California.
Well, it's like in Sopranos, they're trying to trade off and go, well, we need 3 work stoppages at this construction site. I'm like, well, that sounds like what's going on here anyway.
Right.
So what's the difference?
I'm with me.
Oh.
All right. The other thing somebody had requested a miho, and I haven't done a miho in a while.
It's been a while.
And it started with 3. There were 3 mihos, and then it expanded, maybe even up to 7.
Oh boy!
At a certain point, but Adam De La Pena, my writer's assistant, who's of Hispanic origin, who I refer to as Miho, who was hired. He was hired because he sewed his own Hawaiian shirt. That was him.
That's why he was hired?
He came in. We used to interview. The best part of the Man Show was interviewing people who wanted to work at the Man Show, because that was the only thing that was fun, being a boss. And
O'Malley.
And
good one.
They'd come into me, Daniel and Jimmy's office, and they'd have some, resume and some writer samples and stuff. And then Daniel would always immediately go, like, do you watch the show? And they'd always have to say, yes, I'm a fan. I always watch the show. And then he'd go, who's funnier, Adam or Jimmy? You can't be both. They can't be tied. Like, you have to tell them who's funnier. It was only, everyone would be super uncomfortable. There was one hot chick, which is why you want to be, she was like receptionist or whatever. And like Daniel did his usual shtick, like, who do you think, Jimmy? And I thought, it must be great being a hot chick. You get to say whatever flies into your fucking mind at any time. You've never been penalized for it. She just said, Jimmy, definitely. She didn't wrestle with it at all.
In the O'Malley clip, speaking of which, I think you asked one of the girls who are the hosts of the Man Show, and they said, I think Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. That could have been the blonde
Good.
who went on to Real Housewives fame.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Oh, but you've seen the Real
I
Housewives,
have, but I didn't
right?
realize one was a juggie.
You guys are the fans. I'm
Oh,
not
the
sure.
Real Housewife who was the juggie.
I didn't know that.
Last season, the very last season of the Man Show is, what's her name? Blonde. She's beautiful, beautiful. Polish, I believe. Has a, second language English kind of thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Joanna
I didn't-
Krupa?
Joanna Krupa.
I didn't know she was a housewife.
She became a housewife at some point.
Damn.
Yeah.
OC, LA?
She was
Miami.
Oh, Miami. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't think she may have been the one who couldn't pronounce Jimmy's name, but Chris can look.
She is stunning.
She's so good looking. It's
it would be
crazy.
hard to see her in person without squinting. It's like looking at the sun.
I was like, oh, she's in. for
Avert your
sure.
eyes.
Yeah. So Adam De La Pena would be upstairs in the writer's room, and then I would come in and do my 3 mihos. The original 3 mihos, where the first miho was me coming home to my 14-year-old Hispanic son because I just got back from the supermarket, and I got all his favorite. He loves tamales, and I'm going to make him that tonight. So the first one it's about 5:30 in the afternoon. Sun's starting to go down, and I walk through. Mm-hmm. Oh, a guest is here.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Deontay's up. Is he popping up on what?
I think we'll put him on
Zoom, yeah, we're putting him on.
Popping up on Zoom. Deontay Wilder.
He's muted.
Oh, he's muted. I think you're muted, Deontay. We'll unmute you.
Hey
There we
guys, how
go.
y'all doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Deontay's got a fight coming up, and that you can watch it on Fox Sports pay-per-view, and that is tomorrow as you hear this, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's a 12-rounder. It's a title eliminator. Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Deontay, as I said, 42-2-1, and 41 of those are knockouts. So crazy leverage because Deontay's very tall, but he's long and lean versus a lot of heavyweights that come in at 275, 280 pounds. What do you walk around at weight-wise, Deontay?
My weight varies. I got a high metabolism, so I can go from 240, I can go all the way back down to 219. You know what I mean? My body is very strange. It's always been weird, you know. So people ask me, what weight you gonna come in this time? What are you gonna come in? I said, man, I'm coming in my happy weight. And they asked, what is your happy weight? I said, whatever I come in at. So it's gonna be good though. You know, I've been one of those heavyweights that been blessed with being able to have power while not having the actual frame structure of a heavyweight. You know, even my doctors, they can't understand how I have so much power with the body frame that I have. It doesn't mix. And they always told me it's either three things are gonna happen. Either when I hit someone, either I'm gonna hurt them, either I'm gonna hurt them, I'm gonna hurt myself, or it's gonna be both. I'm gonna hurt him and me. So usually is me and him. You know, I've suffered so many broken hands and injuries, you know, due to the power that I have that don't fit the frame of my body. You know, but God is good, man. This business that allowed me to be able to support my family beyond my belief. I told my daughter when she was 2 that I'd be a world champion and be able to support her beyond her belief. And now I have 8, and life is great, you know.
Well, because I know something about boxing. What Deontay has is crazy leverage. Like Thomas Hearns had that. Thomas Hearns at 6'2" fought at 147 pounds. When you go, oh, that guy sounds emaciated. No, he had great leverage. Watch Darryl Strawberry swing a baseball bat, and you'll see great leverage, the snapping of the hips. It's not really about the size of your biceps. It's about your hip speed. And Deontay has that same Long John Jones fought that way in the UFC. It's a long leverage kind of fight. But you fighter physique, but you have to have that ability. Most people don't have the ability to create that much power through the turning of the hips.
Most deaf, you know, and it's like I said, my body is just so weird. It's a blessing to be able to generate so much power, and do it with ease. You know, a lot of people think power is generated from a lot of different things. You know, not only just from the hips, but a lot of think it's from the legs. A lot of people think it's from lifting weights and building power and stuff like that. And you know, a lot of stuff. I'm a myth buster in, especially when they're dealing with legs, because we know I don't have big legs. You know, I have very small legs, but I'm the hardest hitting puncher. I'm the hardest hitting puncher in boxing, and probably in boxing history. You know, and it's just a blessing to be able to have what I have and be able to do the things I've done.
Are you 6'7"? Are you 6'7"?
Correct. I'm 6'7".
So just so people know, he's entered the ring, Deontay, at 6'7", at 219. Mike Tyson at 5'10" would enter 219 too. Yeah. So if you want to know the different kinds of physiques that are in boxing, and it's normally doesn't work, but in Deontay's case, it does. Tyson Fury, that's another freakish guy. Very, very tall, very long, little more meat on him. You guys have had some epic battles over the years. Do you know him? Are you friends with him? Does he talk a lot of shit during the fight? Like, what's that guy like? Because he seems like a crazed man to me.
No comment.
Do you want another fight with him? Is that where this thing is leading?
Most definitely. You know, in the heavyweight, the blessing thing about the heavyweight division is it's a small division. You know, so we as heavyweights we can fight 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. You know what I mean? And if the time is right, and a lot of guys say if the money is right, then the fight makes sense. You know, so it won't be a surprise if we meet each other again for the 4th time. And I think that's what is going to be leading to. Yes, sir. Thank you. I think it is what is going to be leading to, especially, you know, at this fight right here, we got Usyk, which is the other champion. He said he's looking for the winner of this fight. So I can be right there fighting for a world title, you know, after this fight. And then, you know, after that, could unify with him again. So, this thing can go any type of way. It's so many different angles that the heavyweight division, and you fighting different opponents, it can go. That's why I thank God for being able to be in a division that's not so stacked and packed, that it don't take that long to get to a title fight, especially when you're coming from the top. You're always 1 or 2 fights away from a world title.
Any fighters you looked up to as a youth or now, or legendary guys?
My main guy is Muhammad Ali. That's my ultimate guy. He's one of the guys that I've always looked into and looked up to, dealing with his career. And what intrigues me about Muhammad Ali was one of the things that he was able to do inside, not only just inside of the ring, but what he was able to do on the outside of the ring, especially in the times he was able to do it in.
Yeah, I get you, but that's a boring answer. Is there anybody
that only Adam would know? We wouldn't have heard of that.
Wally Pipp or somebody.
Shavers.
Some deep cut guy that, or I'll accept Rocky Graziano versus Marciano. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's everyone's GOAT, but I'm always curious if there's somebody or anyone it doesn't have to be a heavyweight.
I can only respond to you the truth. Anybody know me knows I speak from my heart. I speak the truth about all things. Everybody got their opinion, and they got who's the great and what makes them great, and what reason that person made their decision to make them feel that they are idol to them or made them great. Everybody got their opinions about it. And
any thoughts about the UFC? Anyone ever try to get you to go over that direction? What do you think of that sport?
No one has offered me to go over that way, but my training camp has been in Vegas, and I've been at the UFC Apex training. And what Dana White have done for the facility, and for UFC fighters has been tremendous. He turned a $2 million facility and sold it for $4 billion. And that was off of non-record fighters, meaning that they didn't have the best of records. Dana always said records is for DJs, and he made it a tremendous facility. A facility where those fighters can come and get recovery. They can come and get treatment. They can come and get food if they need it, and all sorts of things. And it's a tremendous facility. And I was just overwhelmed by what they was able to do with their fighters. I can only wish that as a boxer, we had that same thing offered to us, and certain things given to us as well, like that. So, but I never had someone offer that, but there is a potential fight that could be displayed amongst me and another UFC fighter in a crossover fight. So, the future is bright, for a lot of opportunities that can happen. So we'll see what happens.
Like a Francis Ngannou type guy?
You know a little something, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you might have been in your ear, huh?
Well, I don't get why he would want to fight you in a straight stand-up boxing match, but maybe if there were some kicks allowed or something, that deal could be struck.
You know what? I've even said to the point where we can do a duo of things. Not only he cross over into boxing, but me potentially crossing over into his world as well. I never seen where a fighter fights, they come on the UFC, come to boxing, and then they fight in that world, and then the boxer go into the UFC and fight in their world. I think it will only be fair and right, you know what I mean? So I will entertain that. I will entertain that and see how that world is like as he cross over into my world, some unfamiliar territories.
Look, in a world where Jake Paul's making $15 million a fight, and it's all on the table now. Pickleball's a big sport now. I mean, everything's on the table. What do you think? I've gotten a few takes on the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight. Speaking of UFC, any thoughts, predictions?
Man, that's gonna be it's gonna be a interesting fight to watch. Sylvia is one of my guys, man. I enjoy watching Sylvia fight when he fights. So that was kind of. I didn't think that fight was going to happen. You know what I mean? And fights don't happen until they're in the ring. And sometimes even when they're in the ring, I've seen fighters. I've seen fighters step outside of the ring, time the bell rings. So I think it is going to happen when the first punch is thrown or whatever. And Sylvia is definitely a great fighter, and I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I never was looking forward to seeing any other fights, as far as exhibition is concerned. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that fight turns out.
Last question for you. So when you fought Tyson Fury, well, I think it was the first time, but maybe it was the second time, you had an issue with your head, with your bronze skull, crown, mask, head thing.
Huh?
Was that your story? That the weight of it was too much? Wasn't that the story?
You read too much negative news, man.
I'm making that up?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. There's a picture of you in a big bronze helmet with a mask on it somewhere. But the scuttlebutt it was so heavy it tired you out. Someone made that up?
Who said that?
Jeez, I saw it on, I don't know.
Gina.
I saw it on TMZ or somebody tweeted to me. It has to be true.
Let me tell you this with media. A lot of people, especially nowadays, since you have social media and stuff like that, people rather be first to being correct. It's a lot of things that people I say, they switch
or
up
be
my
correct, right? Yeah.
They want clicks and likes.
Right.
They bait a lot of times. And like I said, media rather be first than being correct. So,
Okay. So no truth to that. Well, I got suckered in.
Cut that out. We'll edit that out.
The fight, Deontay's against Robert Helenius. I think I'm saying that right. Another big dude. Heavyweights are big now. Heavyweights were, Vander Holyfield, Tyson, all even aforementioned Ali. These guys were all 6'2", 225, whatever. There's a couple big guys in there, but
Tyson Fury 6'9"?
It's all
6'7" with
they're
Deontay?
all freakishly tall and long. And so last question, should there be a super heavyweight division now?
To add on to the tallness of heavyweights, the tallest one I've ever heard of was 7 foot tall. He was a Russian fighter, and I don't feel it should be a super heavyweight division. Look at the divisions now. It's so many divisions now that even fans can't keep up with them. It's too many fighters. It's too many belts out here. Back in the time, they only had a certain amount of belts, and if you was a champion, it really meant something. You were the champion. It wasn't no intern champion. You wasn't the super champion, then the regular champion and all that. All that stuff is all about money. If you ask me, it's all about money, 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 money. This is why boxing is a business. And I don't feel, in my opinion, and a lot of other opinions, there should be any more divisions added. Certain belts should be taken out. I love how the old school used to handle things as far as belts and things is concerned. And with that being said, it brings a lot of it don't bring interest to the business as much as so if it's just limited of belts, that is involved, or even weight divisions that is involved. I think they add on to generate more money.
So no super heavyweight. I kind of agree. But you're the baddest man on the planet once you get that belt. The fight is coming up, and you can watch it tomorrow as you hear this, 9 p.m. Eastern, Fox Sports, pay-per-view, and his Instagram at Bronze Bomber as well. Deontay, win this fight and then get back with Fury and then take the belt for the Americans.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Deontay Wilder.
Blessings. I hope all you guys have a lovely day.
Thank you.
We shall, my friend. All right. Last piece of business is Geico. Do you rent your home? Well, sure you do, one or the other. It can be hard work too. Well, it's easy. Bundling policies. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around the house. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see just how much you could save and just how easy it is when you go to geico.com. That is geico.com. Well, Chris wrote on the screen, yes, Wilder did say his costume was messing him up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was the helmet.
He said everything. He said, quote, I think I'm just going to have to make some adjustments with the accessories on there. My last couple outfits had no weight. It was more styrofoam. This time around, we added different heavy things. The skulls, the rhinestones. There's a lot of things that were designed on there that made it very, very, very heavy. You know, even with the mask, he had battery packs in the mask. So it was quite a bit heavy, and, you know, I'm definitely going to change that up. That's something I'll never do again. And he says, yeah, wearing such a heavy costume impacted his performance.
Stop reading fake news.
Mike Tyson didn't wear socks. That's what the old school guy. You know what Mike Tyson wore walking out to the ring?
What?
A towel with a hole cut in it, like a poncho.
So much pomp and circumstance.
Literally, you can find a picture. I'm sure you can find a picture of Tyson just wearing a medium-sized bath towel with a slit in the middle of it, pulled over his head. No, going front to back, like more like poncho style.
That kind of looks badass.
I think between the towel and the no socks, that's the direction you want to go, and leaves great sponsorship possibilities.
Sure.
Holiday Inn,
blank canvas,
red roof. All right,
logo here.
I want to thank Mike Cannon for coming in here and Deontay Wilder for joining us. San Diego, Mic Drop Comedy. That'll be October 28th and 29th. We'll do some live pods there and some stand-up there. In Las Vegas, Wise Guys coming up. That's November 2nd. In St. Louis and Tucson. And go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla. For Mike Cannon and Gina Grad and Bo Bryan and Deontay Wilder, say it. Mahalo.